This place first opened way back in 1957. We are inside legendary Lambeau Field here in Green Bay. No team means more to a city than the Packers to Green Bay, and this was the scene a few moments ago as the green and gold made their way out of the historic tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with the Minnesota Vikings. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And it's a welcome back to health for last year's #1 pick. This is Dalvin Cook looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. On second down, here's Rosen. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. They'll look to throw on first down with Josh Rosen. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. He was looking for his tight end there, Kyle Rudolph. And that'll bring up second down.
Well, they're slinging it. And then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown out of his reach and incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
I got 15. 15's mine. I'm taking it. Hurry up. Here we go. 3:19. 3:19.
From the gun, it's Rosen. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Josh Jones. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. They were ball hawks last week. They had a trio of interceptions on defense. In the first drive, they pick up right where they left off.
They're creating quite a reputation for themselves, aren't they? And sometimes what happens is when they know that the defense can take the ball away, as they saw the previous week, now you try too hard to not let them take it away, and you force yourself into errors. They've intimidated them in a sense and gotten the ball from them.
Rodgers now to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll make it a 2nd down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Everson Griffin in there to sack him for a loss of 6. Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long.
Hey, flex. Hey, check 26.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. And the pressure gets to him again. Everson Griffin in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
And now out comes Minnesota. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, but start off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
Ha-ha, Clinton Dix there for the stop.
Leopard!
Now Rosen to throw on 2nd down. Open here, Adam Thielen. Part of the reason they're here, no doubt, was his big performance in the NFC title game, and that's his first catch of the Super Bowl.
Hey, we talked about Adam Thielen a little bit last year, didn't we? Possession receiver, makes some tough catches, gets it done, and he's a homeboy. Grew up very close to the Twin Cities.
And showing those possession receiver skills right there to pick up the first. Here's Rosen throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a
story.
Long night.
Now a play fake here on first down. They'll roll him out right. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
I think we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
Leopard!
On second down, Rosen. He'll find Thielen working the middle. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Rosen to throw on third down. Oh, he may have gotten lucky. Tried to dump it off underneath on the check down. Nearly picked. Instead, it's incomplete.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're saying.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Here's the rookie from the U, Mark Walton. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Let's go, hey, let's go, come on. Down, Liz. Gun.
Rodgers now on first down. Going for the deep ball. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked up by Anderson-Dejo. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
Detroit!
After the interception, here's Rosen. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by Josh Jones. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
And as a defender, if you go with 2 interceptions in a game, that's pretty rare in the NFL. You might see one guy a weekend do that. But to have 2 in the first quarter, that's something you don't see all that often. I have a feeling they'll think twice about throwing in his direction too often.
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. Caught left side by Cobb. And he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. They face a 2nd and 7 to start things out. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. Rodgers to throw once more. Shakes off the sand. But in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down. Sheldon Richardson in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it'll be 4th down. And Crosby puts it through, and the Packers are off to a 3-0 lead. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
And now out comes Minnesota. And last time, 1-play interceptions. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. He moved from your former position senior year, strong safety.
Yeah, sometimes they get you up near the line of scrimmage or you're trying to time up a blitz. You've got to get it right, otherwise that flag comes out and you just cost your team some yardage.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense, 1st and 10. Cook following the penalty. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. And now it's Rosen looking. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. From the shotgun, it's Rosen. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Josh Jones. And they will finally get to him, but a great return has set him up 1st and goal at the 5. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it, Kurt Coleman?
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
with the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. They'll come out in the pistol. To throw is Rodgers. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side before lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football, and caused a nice play for lost yardage.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. A gain of 5, but not enough. Leads to a 4th and goal. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field. Definitely
a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board. Ended up settling for 3.
They had a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney! Detroit! Detroit!
Out of the gun, here's Josh Rosen. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there. 3rd down here. Well, the passing game right now for them, not overly impressive. Last week he hit on right at 50%. This week he's under 50%.
And it's not just on him. Protection, a few breakdowns along the way. That's made him get off the spot. Receivers not getting their way open downfield. The coverage has been awfully tight. They've got to all get together and find ways to make this passing game get in gear.
On 3rd down, Rosen. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Josh Jones. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line. On 1st down, Rodgers. Looking deep for Adams. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on it at 2nd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
A minute 57 to go in this first half. We're back to Lambeau following these words. The Packers on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 5.
Excellent. Hey, check 26.
Throwing now is Rodgers. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. Oh, very close to a turnover there in the end zone.
Quarterbacking 101. Never force the ball into double coverage, especially not this close to the goal line. The windows are so tight, you just don't want to force it in there because it could be tipped up and picked off.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And now out comes Minnesota. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Throwing now, Rosen on first down. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
And a little bit of good fortune there. He wasn't able to get it back, but he did have a teammate on the spot able to retain possession for them.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Rosen to throw again. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Josh Jones. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. And we now have a new single-game interception king, a record-breaking 5th pick there.
If that's not the true definition of a ball hawk, I don't know what is. That is absolutely phenomenal.
And this is caught. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Davante Adams, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Packers add on to their lead. Crosby with the extra point, and the lead now stands at 13. Crosby on now to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. A little juke. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. 2nd and 10, it's Rosen again. That's incomplete, nearly another pick, my goodness. I hate to sound really negative, but at this point, an incomplete pass, almost a moral victory that it's not picked off.
Well, you may hate to sound negative, but that was negative.
It was very negative, I know. But all these first-half interceptions, it's been tough to watch.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Packers pick it up. And he will bring it back to about the 11-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, these are going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And here he'll get it down to the 7. It'll be a gain of 4. And that'll make this a 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. A final shot before half for Rodgers. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we're at halftime here at Lambeau with the Packers taking the lead to the break. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Oh, boy, I know you felt that one. I know you felt that one.
They run again with Walton. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first two plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a third and long at the outset of this drive. Throwing is Rodgers on third down. And he finds Jimmy Graham. And they're able to convert on third with a solid gain of 23.
What we just saw there, I usually attribute to Ben Roethlisberger being able to shrug off tackles, that big tree that he is. But Aaron Rodgers does that as well as anyone, too. Able to shake it off and slide and move.
And then still complete the pass. Pocket presence, so good for him.
Drives defenses absolutely crazy.
Now it's Rodgers. It's caught outright by Graham. Rodgers to his tight end Graham on a big one. 49 yards.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
You know, a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off. A nice job forcing the contact and forcing the incompletion.
Yeah, Coach Ford would have loved that
Rodgers going to throw. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
They start the drive with Cook, and he's going to lose yardage back to his own 1-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the play.
He's got a man complete. And they're going to get this one all the way up to the 35-yard line. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. They go play action here on first down. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Second and 10 now. It's Rosen. Flushed out right. And I think the ball's out.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. They'll look to throw on first down with Josh Rosen. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by the Michigan man, Jake Ryan. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Throwing again. Rodgers. Buying time to his, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Daniil Hunter. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 9 yards on the carry, but it's going to lead to a 4th down. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. And quite a bit of pizza in this box. It's a 53-yard attempt. And the kick is good. He needed a little help there from the crossbar, but the carom goes his way. And that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. So a favorable bounce that time, to say the least, and he's able to convert the field goal there from long distance.
Yeah, the guys behind the end zone didn't need to hike the net up for this one. That thing was a dying quail, but he finds a way to boink it off the crossbar and make it drop through.
And now out comes Minnesota. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really...
And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. The 6-time Pro Bowler, Clay Matthews. And it'll be a 2nd and long. A rookie QB struggling, gets thrown down to the ground there. But, you know, maybe this game, it's not over yet, but maybe this game can be a learning experience for him.
So many different things that he has to pick up on. When to go ahead and flush from the pocket and run.
And he's going to go down again. Mike Daniels in there to drop him, and sacks on 1st and 2nd downs are going to lead to a 3rd and long. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. From the gun, it's Rosen. Lets it fly for Thielen. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this 3rd quarter of play. Here's Matt Weil now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. Not good at all. Punted just 24 yards there. And the Packers will have a short field to work with here as they take over 1st and 10. Here's Walton. And he's going to be brought down at about the 33-yard line. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. You don't have to use timeouts. What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Rodgers looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Now look out, Rodgers lost the football, and the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line. He let one slip away last week as well, so now 2 fumbles lost in as many weeks.
Well, we were out at practice, and we watched him work. And what did his quarterback coach talk about all week?
Being a two-hand monster.
And we looked at each other. Two-hand. Oh, I get it. Two-hand monster. Both hands on the football, taking care of it, putting it away so the ball doesn't get dropped.
From midfield now, here's Rosen. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Caught on the right side by Treadwell. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Somebody missed an assignment. He was waving his arms saying, hey, I'm wide open. They found him.
You think? You think? I mean, he was so wide open. Did you see he was just windmilling like he was Don Quixote or somebody out there? And then they found him for a really nice gain.
That is caught at the 7. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They want to go to the air again with Rosen. Packer pressure, and down he goes. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has. But in his defense, he hadn't had a lot of time to throw the football. Like when I said that, in his defense.
In his defense, I got it.
See what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Rosen will throw. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. To throw is Rosen. And this is incomplete. A very pivotal 2-point try that does not go their way. Now it's a big uphill battle for the rest of the 4th quarter.
The attempt was to try and make it a 1-score game, right? Touchdown, get 2, and now you've tied it up. Instead, they don't get it, still down 10.
This one taken from the 7. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Now a toss play. This is Walton. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. And now this defense try to use the clock to their advantage. They'll take the timeout here with 2:08 left. And then they'll have another stop coming up at the 2-minute warning. They go back to Walton. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. Another timeout called by the Vikings now. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Let's go, come on.
Now Walton. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. Starting to become a tough spot for this defense. You're down fourth quarter, looking a little fatigued maybe on that side of the ball.
Partner, we've seen this before, haven't we? Because every coach we've ever talked to says body language is important. And now you're seeing guys with their hands on their hips, they're bent over, hands on their knees. And the offensive guys, they're just saying, let's just keep running it at them. We've got them now.
The Packers on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This time they face a 3rd and 2.
Hey, check 26.
Rodgers to throw. And able to find Grant, complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. And that one good for 16 yards and a first.
Now that's a big pickup right there, and so often we focus on how the quarterback's faking on play action. How about everyone being in on the deal and picking it up?
Second, third levels, you could see them trying to recover. They bit. Worked out offensively. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in, and all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in.
And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. Mark Walton with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Packers add 6 to their lead. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, Coach, what do you want to call? He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Detroit! Detroit!
From the shotgun, it's Rosen. And now here's another interception. Picked off by the Michigan man, Jake Ryan. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
That's fine. Yeah.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. On the toss, here's Walton. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Packers, they used a favorable